Good morning, traders. So I'm going to try to keep this a little short here early on this morning. So this is my primary grid to try to identify what's happening under the hood in the markets. And we do have some breakdown situations happening here in the markets under the hood. So be very mindful here. These represent the growth alpha areas of the overall market. And here we are. We've been basing under 7,000 for a couple months now, a few months now, starting in December. And I want to really point out here the blue lines that I've got on my charts right here. These represent the monthly 5 moving averages. So once you start breaking below the monthly 5 moving average, that actually is giving us an indication of overhead supply starting to rear its ugly head. And the traders are selling into resistance above the monthly 5 once we start breaking above that below that. And what I want to point out here, XLK, that's our technology sector. As of Friday, we came up and we back tested our monthly 5. And as of this morning, we are starting to fade against that this morning, suggesting we might have a hard ceiling here in our technology early on to kick off this week. So be very mindful of this. See, there's a little trend right there that this could be a very hard ceiling right here in the markets. Okay, guys. So heads up, this fade right here could be a very hard ceiling here in technology. So let's definitely keep this in watch uh, going forward here. Okay. Other things that are happening here in the markets, XLC, that's our information technology sector. Okay, very important. That's one of our growth areas. You got your Metas, Googles, those are two primary things. We are currently trading below the monthly 5 on those as well. So be very mindful of that. That's a very important indicator in the markets. The third one now that's giving us a rejection signal this morning, that's our consumer discretionary, a potential because of Amazon reporting, we are getting a potential rejection of the high PE multiples in consumer spending stocks. So be very mindful of that as well. So the fact 3 of our 4 primary growth sectors in the markets are currently trading below the monthly 5. That suggests to me, the odds of trend resistance at lower highs failing has dramatically improved versus what we've seen over the past few months, given the current rundown of my charts. Now, XLF, we are still uh, trading above our monthly 5. So that's a good sign in that regard on our monthly 5, trying to build a higher base early this morning. This is technically a bull flag until it isn't. We're technically trying to create a bull flag on XLF. So early on this morning, we want to see if XLF were to lose this bull flag area and continue with the other sectors. Seeing these other 3 broken, the odds, in my opinion, are that XLF will break earlier on this morning or in today's trading session. We will potentially see a break of this bull flag. So let's definitely keep this one on watch going forward. Okay. Okay, guys, some things that I'm looking at this morning. One being AMD this morning. AMD came up, tagged its monthly 5 lower MA, okay, and we are rejecting that early this morning. So I definitely want to keep this one on watch. In my opinion, this is a bear flag coming off of that. We'll see how that plays out. If you go down here on a 4-hour time frame, let's see what happens here. So that would suggest right here that yeah, that this might become major resistance right here. Put a little rectangle on that real quick here for you guys. This here might be becoming new resistance. So we want to keep a definite watch on this going forward here. Down smaller time frame to see what I'm talking about here. 1 hour. Okay. This might become major new resistance. Rejecting that 5, now we're coming down. So let's definitely keep this one on watch, see if this builds out into a major resistance area for AMD going forward. And that being said, SMH. Okay, guys, so this here, that's our monthly 5. So we came right up to our monthly 5, rejected this morning. Heads up on that. So this is following, this is technically a lower high, bear flag, off the monthly 5. We're currently trying to save this higher level. I would look for this to fail today for a really hard test of 390 at some point in today's session, or worse. Okay, guys, or potentially worse. We could be coming all the way down to, you know, complete retrace of the Friday action. We could very well be seeing a complete 100% retrace of the Friday action on the SMH. So I definitely want to keep this one in the back of our minds that this move Friday was a bull trap. So that's my primary thesis, that we might have seen a bull trap Friday. Okay. Okay, guys. Amazon had earnings, came up. We had a little relief rally with the rest of the markets. Okay, guys. So my main takeaway this morning, we got to see how price uh, interacts around this 209 area. Yeah, right around the 209 area. See if it can hold above that 209 area, in my opinion. We got a big gap above us that we might leave behind. Uh, we'll see how that plays out. Generally speaking, in a bullish market, this gap would get filled, but let's definitely keep this one on watch. Our monthly 5 MA is way up here, so we are in bearish territory. Resistance should be shorted until proven otherwise. Uh, I would say breaking 209 probably opens the door for further downside. So let's definitely keep this one on watch in the back of our mind. Another thing to look at, you can pull up your market webs on a weekly time frame. Okay, guys, if we were to start losing this 209, we're probably going to quickly go down to the 205 area and try to decide if new buyers come in there. A lot of times, they will see how this bell curve happens. Uh, we overshoot the bell curve, come back down, back test the 205, and then see if we can find new buyers. So that is definitely a possibility to see if they want to come back down to 205, see if they can build up new buyers from a higher low perspective to continue higher. It's definitely a scenario that I would be looking out for on Amazon. Okay. Tesla is still one of my favorite shorts. I just don't know when it's all going to play out. Basically, Elon came in out on the earnings call, blowing up the EV growth idea. Okay, and he's wanting to move into an entire new business model with the share price at very high multiples already. And then he's also thrown in the idea of merging his SpaceX company with Tesla, and anything to try to save that $1 trillion pay package he's got going on here. Ultimately, without that merger, I was looking for Tesla going back to $80 a share. Yeah, $80 a share, guys. That's exactly what I was looking for. So, be very mindful of that going forward here. We are bouncing off one of we're kind of trapped in between two of our monthly moving averages, one above us, one below us. It's kind of in no man's land. We did defend our lower to almost to the penny, our exponential moving average, virtually to the penny there at the 390 area. So, we're kind of in the limbo land. We're not really, in breakdown mode on the 5 MAs yet. Okay. Google's looking good. We're still trading above our monthly 5. Okay, guys. They came in, defended it after earnings. Nothing really bad showing up there yet. Apple looking good. They're coming in here trying to use Apple to hold above these moving averages. Definitely could come back down and back test that though. So we'll definitely keep that one on watch going forward here. Microsoft filled the gap finally. This one here is going to be a really, really important watch going forward. We filled the gap. We're below our monthly 5 MAs. Okay, guys. So heads up on that. You know, if you're doing this as a contrarian trade, okay. So bottom line is, as a momentum trader, you really don't want to be going long, short dated calls unless you're above the monthly 5 uh, uh, trend lines. You know, as a general theme, you want to stay monthly. You're looking for to short resistance on Microsoft, so you got quite a bit to repair here to on Microsoft. So if you do this, just remember that, guys. You need to be taking longer dated option plays on Microsoft if you're trying to do a reversion back to the mean to the upside on Microsoft. So be very mindful. Even with us filling this gap, that is my primary thesis. You would probably want to stay away from short dated options. Another one important to note here, guys. This is our monthly 5 EMA. We came right up to it Friday, early this morning. We are rejecting that. So be very mindful of that. That blue line right there. That blue line is really important. We came right up to it and rejecting this morning. So be very mindful of that. That's, a lot of signals here suggesting I don't want to be overly long this market unless we actually get higher levels. It's really looking like a bull. Friday was a bull trap to me. So be very mindful of that and cognizant of that going forward here. Okay, guys. Guys, so a lot of damage has happened to Bitcoin. Be very mindful of that. We came right up to our point of control, our weekly point of control from last week. We're currently trading on the bearish side of that actually this morning. So be very mindful of that. This is exactly where a bear flag should fail on the weekly time frame. So we want to see if Bitcoin continues to uh, build out lower value here. So ultimately probably around the 66,000 area. See if value starts building right here for another leg lower. Uh, so bottom line is, you would think that this thing could very well come back down to 66,000 and see how fast of a bounce we get off of that. So, that would be my ultimate thing, coming back down to this point of control, see if we can get a fast move up or if we just digest sideways. That would be my theory going forward here. That I wouldn't want to be trying to take it long at this point of control, in my opinion. There's no edge to be going adding to the long side on that on the weekly time frame. Okay. Real quick, like we're into week on week. That's our point of control from 2 weeks ago. Uh, from last week, that's still acting as overhead resistance. This is still bear flagging, in my opinion. So heads up on that. This is technically, resistance, bear flag territory. We have not broken out above that point of control, even trying to shop for higher prices. So be very mindful of that. You really need to clear these prior highs before you start getting excited to the long side. The risk reward setup is to the downside here on the GC. We'll check SI real quick. Come on, type it in there. And SI, you zoom in here, guys, for your silver, which got pummeled. Okay, guys, this really looks like a head and shoulders. See right here, this would be your shoulder. This would be your head, really big head on it. Potential, you know, or this could be up here. Yeah, this right here. All of this here could be a shoulder. This could be your head. You know, all this being, and yeah, that's exactly where I look at it. We're right here in between point of controls. It doesn't look like we're probably 7650 area, kind of coming back down to the 7650 area, in my opinion, for a retest of this point of control. You know, definite scenario, in my opinion. A retest of that. See if they hold that point of control to bounce off of. It happens over and over and over. The attempted back test the point of control for a rally. So um, just be very mindful of it going forward. Okay. Yeah, this is a perfect example here. This is really a perfect example. A hard back test at this point of control, and then ultimately building back to the upside. So that would be my primary thesis after this massive sell-off. Not to be looking too much for V-shaped recoveries in this market. Okay, thanks a lot. Like the video if you get a chance. Comments below are appreciated.